Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk rumour roundup show. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're on the march to 6,000 subscribers, so please do help us get there. Help spread the word of the channel by liking, subscribe if you're new, and get your comments and your thoughts on the players that are linked to Aston Villa. Also, news of positive contract talks with a couple of our key players, so make sure you stay tuned to find out who that is. But let's get right into it. So we have been talking about attacking players that I think Aston Villa want to maybe refresh the squad. One or two names potentially moving on, Leon Bailey, and one or two other players that, you know, could be on the list of potential transfers that could be open to moves. And it has been talked about that Aston Villa could enter the race to sign Rayan Cherki of Lyon. And he is a very, very skillful player, very, very good technical ability, and really, really, really highly rated across Europe. Did very, very well in the Europa League, looked really good, and can crop up in the key moments. Probably sort of similar player to maybe if we're talking Marco Asensio, something like that. But yeah, really, really, really skillful player, can produce in the big moments as well. And if we look at his kind of Wikipedia, played for Lyon for his whole career from 2019 to 2021 for the Lyon B team, and then graduated into the first team in and around 2019 as well, and has appeared 146 times in the league, scoring 14 goals, has represented France from under 16 up to under 21, and also featured in the Olympic side last season. And as I said, has had a pretty good season this year, probably a real consistent one for him in the league this season. If we have a look at his SofaScore stats, only 21 years of age, so really key age, and a really highly rated player. Strengths there, consistency, long balls, and playmaking, as we say. Can play at the attacking midfield or right wing. And if we look at his heat map, predominantly across that right, but drifts across to the left, picks up those spaces that we know are really key in terms of breaking the lines. Appearances 30, 22 starts, 8 goals, so good return there. 1 big chance missed. 8 goals from inside the box, so it makes the runs into the box. And look, headed, left foot and right footed goals as well. 11 assists, which is fantastic, and 22 big chances created. So obviously the real creative force for Lyon this season. 84% accurate passes, 92% in his own half, and 74% in the opposition half. And in terms of successful dribbles, nearly two attempted per game, and that's 53% success rate, 44% in terms of ground duels won, 44% in terms of total duels won. So works hard as well, and also got that creative flair and that ability. And at 21 years of age, probably coming into, got all the best years ahead of him, and could be a really highly rated player. Now, there are multiple clubs looking at him. I think Liverpool looking at him, and one or two other big clubs looking at him, but Aston Villa are apparently in that race. And we know how big Champions League football could be for Aston Villa, but we also know what a coup having someone like Unai Emery at them as manager can really help to attract these players, because they know how much they're going to improve under Unai Emery, and they know what a name like his carries. If you look at the improvement of so many of our players in our team, that has to go a long way with potentially attracting multiple players from across Europe. Now, a player in the Premier League who is garnering interest, and we know that Bournemouth are potentially going to lose a number of their players just because of the quality that they've shown and the individual quality that their players have. And one of these players is Antoine Semeno. And now he has alerted Aston Villa as well as other clubs. Again, I think Liverpool have looked at him. Arsenal are looking at him. I think Newcastle have looked at him. And we're probably saying that with someone like Leon Bailey potentially moving on, someone like Semenyo could be a potential option. Now, we know he can operate on both flanks. We know he's got that goal scoring element to him. He can be a little bit inconsistent, hasn't had quite the end to the season that maybe you'd have wanted. Through the middle part of the season, I think he was excellent, but towards this end of the season, he's maybe tailed off a bit, as well as Bournemouth have as well. But if we look at his stats, can operate down the left-hand side, can operate down the right-hand side as well, has started 35 games this season. So he's been a real consistent player. 9 goals, would probably like to get to that double figures, all 9 from inside the box. But if you look at that, 5 with the left foot, 4 with the right foot, and 1 penalty. So can operate with both feet, which is really important. 5 assists, 11 big chances created. Would maybe want to be a little bit more creative, but that could be to do with the chances missed as well. 78% in terms of passing accuracy. Obviously, most of it is done in the opposition half. 72% in terms of the opposition half. 1.5 tackles per game. 4.4 ball recoveries per game. He does try 1.9 successful dribbles per game. So that's 55%. So you can see he's really trying to beat his man multiple times across the game, which is what he's asked to do. And then the ground duels, 41%, aerial duels, 48%. So, look, we know what a player is. We know he can be really dangerous. And as with all wingers, if they get a good first run on their defender, we know how encouraged they are by that, and they go on to have a really good game. What I've noticed with Bournemouth, they start really well. You know, that can be driven by Semenyo and Tavernier and Kluivert. But if they don't necessarily start too well, then they can maybe drop into their shell a little bit. And then they either start well or they finish really strong, and can be that middle part, that 60 minutes plus, where they drop out of the game a little bit. But for me, I would be interested in Semenyo. I think he's a really interesting player. He's obviously got that Premier League experience as well. So for me, I think if he could be got at the right price, I think Aston Villa could be a good club for him. You know, maybe not quite at the level of Liverpool or Arsenal, should we say, but really quality club. Obviously, hopefully we get that Champions League football and he can really push on, and that could be a good signing for us. So let me know your thoughts. Semenyo, Cherki, and this next one, another attacking player, has been linked every single window because of the links with Unai Emery, and that's Alex Baena of Villarreal. Now, I don't know. This one could have legs on it this time round. I think Monchi, tried to sign him last summer and it didn't quite work out. By all accounts, I think we did try and get a deal done, but we couldn't get it done. Now, 103 appearances for Villarreal from 2020, scoring 14 goals. He had a loan at Girona from 2021 to 22, scoring 5 goals in 38 games. Has now got 9 caps for Spain, scoring 2 goals, and has represented Spain at every level, every age group level, from under 16s up to under 23s. And he's probably the quintessential Spanish player. Really technical, both feet, creative, can find those little spaces, can pop the ball off, can control the game, can create, can score goals, can score free kicks. So I think he would be an excellent player in the Premier League, and someone who would probably light it up and, give us those moments. I think probably someone like, if Emi Buendia was as consistent, or if Philip Coutinho had signed him at maybe the right time, let's say, 23 years of age, got so much ability, can play left midfield, can play central midfield, strength, direct free kicks and playmaking, as I said. Operates across that left-hand side, drifts into the middle as well. Has had 29 starts this season, 9 team of the week. So really consistent player, really technical player as well. 6 goals scored, 6 big chances missed, 3 with the left foot, 3 with the right foot. Exactly, both footed, 6 from inside the box, 9 assists and 21 big chances created. Now, you get him in those little areas and he will slot balls in, he'd slide passes in, he would find little spaces like Asensio does, where he may be on the edge of a game, but you cannot take your eyes off these players. And to have 2 of those operating at one time would just be tremendous, with someone like Onana and Kamara behind, or Tielemans buzzing around, just winning the ball and then giving it to the creative players would be just tremendous. 74% accuracy in passes, 64% in the opposition half. We know that's where he does his work. Doesn't really dribble too much, but it's all about the passing, all about the creativity. 43% in duels won. So, look, puts himself about as well. 9 yellow cards as well. So, look, Probably tackling might not be his strong point, but certainly knows how to put himself about. So for me, I'd really love us to sign someone like him. Obviously, he has that track record of working with Unai Emery, so he knows what he could do to get the best out of him. I'll be really excited with someone like that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, potential players that could be signing extended contracts with Aston Villa. Now, this is music to many, many Aston Villa fans' ears. Boubacar Kamara, as reported by John Percy, is very, very close to signing his new extended contract. Now, again, some of it might be dependent on the European competition that we're playing in. There might be additional money that he would get, whether we qualify with the Champions League or not. There might be additional bonuses tied into that. There might be links to international caps. So these are all the things that come into contracts. But to hear that he is really close to signing a contract is fantastic, because it really does protect the asset that we've got. And we know how key he is when he stays fit. We know he does the dirty work. We know he does the quiet, unassuming stuff. But we're also seeing him get forward now. And he's obviously had shots against Bournemouth he could have scored. He scored against Tottenham. Can he score again against Manchester United? That would be fantastic. And then because of the fantastic season that he's had, players, player of the season, fans, player of the season, Youri Tielemans, there he is scoring that header against Fulham, is going to be rewarded with an extension to his contract and an increased pay rise in line with the top players at the squad. And that is absolutely fully deserved. Brilliant season for Youri Tielemans. And again, to get those two players on a free transfer is absolutely unbelievable business. Unbelievable business. So I, for one, am really, really happy about that. So sign the ting, both of you. Now, goalkeeper, we've talked a couple of goalkeepers. Emi Martinez, is he on the go or not? We've said that there's been no contact, no bids, nothing. But there can't be no smoke without fire. There can't be. There has to be something in his potential move, whether that's to Saudi, whether that's to Barcelona, whether that's to Atletico Madrid, who I think he would be perfect for in terms of the attitude and what he brings to a club. But obviously, I wouldn't want to lose him. But look, as I gave my points in the Emi Martinez video I did the other day, if we have to sell, then look, I'm sure there are extremely highly rated goalkeepers out there that we could maybe sign two that would compete, because the drop down from Emi Martinez, unfortunately, to Robin Olsen and to any other goalkeeper that would be coming in is so great that we probably have to go with two goalkeepers of similar quality who could push each other on. Now, the next cab on the rank for goalkeepers to be linked is Martin Bulka of Nice, Polish goalkeeper, and has represented Poland 4 times now. Again, played in all the age groups from under 18s through to the full international squad. Plays for Nice, has made 70 appearances. Was at Paris Saint-Germain from 2019 to 2022, where he played 2 games and then went on various loans to Nice as well. Only played 1 game and then they signed him, and he's got himself into the side. Now he's 25 years of age, I believe. So again, coming into a good age. High claims and penalty saving are his top attributes. And I believe in 34 appearances, 34 games in the league this season, he hasn't scored any goals, which is a disappointment. But he does have 8 clean sheets. So that's pretty good. And I think we're probably looking at someone like him. Potentially, there's a number of goalkeepers that we're looking at, as I focused on the other day. You know, Joan Garcia seems like the hottest talent around for goalkeepers. Newcastle interested in him. I think I've seen maybe Liverpool interested in him, or Arsenal interested in him. So he looks like he's doing the rounds to numerous clubs. So maybe it's a chance to look at someone else that maybe other people aren't necessarily looking at. So let me know your thoughts again on this goalkeeper. And finally, in terms of the reputation for signing the hottest young players across Europe, Zepekinho Redmond of Feyenoord is the next player to be, apparently Aston Villa are very close to signing. 18 years of age, striker or winger, has made 4 senior appearances for Feyenoord. He hasn't scored yet, but has represented the Netherlands from under 16s up to under 19s. 5 caps in under 19s, scoring 1 goal. I believe he's out of contract with Feyenoord, so there's probably some sort of tribunal. But is he the next John Duran? Is he the next sort of power striker? big, strong, fast, got everything about him, but also the ability to learn and the ability to develop. And I imagine something like bringing him in, maybe a loan spell abroad, or maybe in England, we'll see, and then maybe challenging for the first team from there. We're seeing, these young players coming in. Nipan might be coming in. Ozcan is coming in next at the end of the season. We've seen Nedeljkovic, who didn't quite fit the bill, didn't quite fit what Unai Emery wanted, but he's gone to Leipzig, and now we're going to sell him for profit. So whether they come in and challenge for the first team, whether they become first team players is one thing, but they will also go out on loan, and we will generate money for them if they do well abroad. So that's another player who's going to come in, and we know how highly rated our scouting network is. We know how highly rated our youth teams are. So we've got it from all angles. Which is fantastic for bringing money into the club. And as we know, these PSR rules are extremely difficult to navigate. So any money that we can generate, any profit that we can generate, particularly from these young players, is huge. That's it from me. A bit of a bumper one. I wanted to do this last night, but time got in the way. So did it this evening. Let me know your thoughts on the players that we're linked to. Rayan Cherki, Alex Baena, Antoine Semeno. Who do you want to see out of those three if we're going to sign any of them? Martin Bulka, is he the goalkeeper for us to potentially replace Emi Martinez if we have to? Youri Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara. How important will those two in terms of signing extended deals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll be back later on this week for our match preview for the huge game against Manchester United. Can we get that top 5 position? So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us on the road to 6K. We will also be doing a huge competition for the new away shirt. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel to find out details of how you might be able to win one of those away shirts. So stay tuned to the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.